So apparently they found a weapon of mass destruction. My putter. All right, boys, go get him over there. And now, please welcome Mr. Bruce Jenner. Just wanted to remind you fellas what you're all fighting for.
So good.
So what's really funny is yesterday on the way to school, I was watching Two Scoops with Dan Smots and Craig Smots. So we do the best morning show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the morning after. But then Dan and Craig do a morning show on Tuesdays and Thursdays to fill in the gaps when we're not doing stuff. And they talk about different topics than what we normally do anyway. And they have much higher production quality. Nobody's ever in their vehicle, but nonetheless, they were talking about this. I can't remember where it came from. It was like the big mic thing. It's some dude created like a mashup thing on his channel saying that Obama admitted that Michelle Obama is actually Michael and a dude, which was funny. Like the mashup or the clip that the guy uses as proof that Obama admits to it is obviously like not what he was saying.
Is it like deep faked or like taken out of context?
Completely out of context. Like,
gotcha.
Literally fast forward or rewind 10 seconds in either direction of the quote, and you get the context, and you know that he's not actually saying that Michelle is Mike. But
sometimes she wears the pants around the house, you know.
and there may be a bulge in those pants when she wears them, but like that's not what he was saying in this particular
They really
clip.
fill them out.
So
usually
anyway,
black chicks fill them out in the back, not the front though. So
that's typically. But I mean, I guess it would make sense if it's a black tranny that you're going to fill it out in the front as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of on par. Anyway, so then they also played this clip of it was Joan Rivers saying that everybody knows that Michelle's a tranny, which was fucking hilarious. Like that wasn't fake. That was 100% Joan Rivers for real saying that. Like
hot mic or like on the air?
Yeah, like hot mic. Like there were people like following her into her house, asking her questions, and she just straight up. They were asking her what would be a woman president or a trans president or something. What came first? And she said, "We've already had, or no, a gay president or a woman president." And she said, "We've already had one with Obama." And so you could think that maybe like when she says we already had one with Obama, she thought that they said black and like brain farted. But no, she keeps going and she says, everybody knows Michelle is a trans. And she's like, keeps going with that. And then just walks into her house and shuts the door on all these people, like drops this bomb and then walks off. It's fucking hilarious. I should have found the clip.
Isn't Joan Rivers like 800 years old at this point?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. It's always funny when it's an old person because you have that mystery or the reasonable doubt of they could just be old and insane, you know, and old people just say shit. So it's always so much funnier when it's an old person who says something like that because there's a possibility that it's real. There's a possibility that it's not. It's a possibility they're just fucking Alzheimer's, you know.
I like Corey's comment. He says, I still have to search Vasectomy Clubhouse to find your page. If we get up over 100 subscribers, then we can have our custom URL of the morning after. But until that happens.
That's still how I find it too.
I'm glad we have a shtick that we can go with. And anytime I promote this on any other show that I go on, that's the way I tell people to find it. And like, if you just go to YouTube, search Vasectomy Clubhouse, it'll be the first thing that comes up, and that's our channel.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's a solid selling point. I mean, at least it's you would think that people would go search for that, but here we are, still under 100 subscribers. So
I know, it makes me feel bad about myself. We got to be able to get 100 subscribers.
well,
Dude, so
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is only sort of on topic. I was going to say, we got to be able to come up with a scam to do it. Because, boy, let me tell you, I'm attempted to sell something on Facebook Marketplace for the first time yesterday in a very long time that isn't chickens. Is a dryer, right? And so I expect we're going to get some scam shit, that's always the case, right? So, boom, 5 minutes after posting it, somebody hits me up, yo, I want this dryer, what's up, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, here's the deal. And just their responses sounded kind of funny. And they're just like, what's your phone number? What's your phone number? And I'm like, all right, this is obviously a scam because they're so adamant about the phone number. And I start looking at it, and I notice that the text isn't actually text. It's a photo of text that's done up really good to look like Facebook text. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, scam, boom, whatever, move on. Next one, someone's like, oh, yeah, we good. Let me go ahead and send you the money on Venmo, and I'll come pick it up, Like, cool, no problem. So they're like, hey, man, I sent it. Did you get it? And I'm like, nah, I didn't get it. And they're like, oh, man, we'll check, anyhow. So I get an email from quote unquote Venmo that's like, oh, yeah, the person just has to send $200. And then you send $200. And then something happens. I'm like, no, like, I'm good, dude. And the guy's like, no, it works. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Nice try, buddy, and move on. And now I'm possibly waiting on somebody to come pick up a dryer. They seem legit because yesterday they hit me up and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to pick up right now because it's raining, and it was raining. So I'm like, okay, they do live where they say they live, which is down the street, and they didn't try to pay up front or anything. So I'm assuming somebody might be coming to pick it up, but just the level of scamming, like on just the day-to-day everything these days is fucking insane. So one of the nerds out there, one of our nerd listeners, I'm calling on you to find a way to scam us into having 100 subscribers. It can't be that hard.
You can do it.
What's up,
we
Mark?
have faith in you.
Yeah.
How's it going? Is that what we're talking this morning? Is schemes to get 100 subscribers?
No, we were talking about Michelle Obama being a tranny, and then somehow that led into Corey still has to find us by searching for Vasectomy Clubhouse.
Oh. You guys love that. I hate that. Oh, that's how we're found is Vasectomy Clubhouse, because I'm lumped in with you vasectomy partners.
Are you trying to impregnate one of our viewers?
I mean, a potential one maybe, but
maybe one day when we
might
get a
not
female
watch
viewer.
yet, but she might find the Clubhouse and think, oh, he has one too?
No. See, she'll be like, all these guys have vasectomies. That means none of them are going to impregnate me. Perfect. And then you slip it in on her, and all of a sudden, a few weeks later, it's like, uh-oh.
That feels too Jewish of a scheme for me to be a part of.
You got a wife, buddy. Just like that.
Just like that.
Hey, I've been throwing the 1488 bomb all over the place. It dropped it on Peddling Fiction yesterday. Dropped it on my 1% Jewish wife this morning.
You just throwing it around loosely.
Just throwing it around, yeah. Well,
making 1%er feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it happens to be coming up
around his Jewish friends.
And then whenever it comes up, I just throw it out there.
Do you explain it, or you just kind of throw out the number of 1480? Okay.
No, I explained it. I'm not a complete asshole. Oh, speaking of explaining things, so we were talking about the Michelle Obama being a tranny. When we were talking about all that, when we were talking about all that, I mentioned Bruce Jenner, and both of my kids go, "Who's that?" I said, "Caitlyn." They're like, "Oh, Caitlyn, yeah." I was like, "Yeah, Bruce."
No, it's Bruce.
Like, who's Bruce? I said, "Caitlyn Jenner is Bruce. Bruce was a world-class athlete, won a bunch of Olympic gold medals and stuff, and then decided I'm gonna go be a chick." Except that Caitlyn still has Bruce's dick, and my kids were like, "Wait, what?" It's like, what? How do y'all not know this? Yes.
Because all they do
Corey-
is watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I guess so.
Is he
Corey,
even,
that's the point
featured on that?
of having a vasectomy, is so you can turn any girl into a cum dumpster, worry free. That's the point. Sorry, guys, I just had to interject there. Go on.
Talk about Bruce's dick and cum dumpsters. We are off to a good start today.
You know, I wasn't very familiar with Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner or anything or the fucking Kardashians until the world made me have to be familiar with them. It was all like this thing. They're like these people who, like, supposedly I'm supposed to know who they were because everybody knew who they were, and reality shows over the years or what the fuck ever shit that I never watched. So I had no idea. I still don't really know who these people are.
Bruce was famous way before they were. And then
He's an Olympian, right?
Yeah, and then they became famous, and then he probably got jealous of their fame and decided he was going to become a woman. But he still seems to be not in as much of the limelight as the others.
Well, that's because he's too right wing. Like he keeps.
Nah, he's right wing. I don't like Bruce Jenner, but that's a different topic.
No, but we like Caitlyn Jenner. That's
right. We do like.
No, I don't like any of them.
Bruce is a homo, but Caitlyn's okay.
Oh fuck. That's
voting is transphobic, though, huh?
Voting is transphobic. So I don't know if you've got Twitter pulled up. There is an article in there that talks about how voting is transphobic. There's some estimated like over 200,000 trans people that aren't going to be able to vote because the state that they live in has like fairly strict voter ID laws, and because they all go by like made up imaginary names, and they've changed their gender, so what they say they are doesn't match up with what they are on their IDs. So either they can choose to use their legal government issued ID and be like, yes, I'm actually Carl, I'm a man, this is who I am, please let me vote. Or they can stick with the no, I'm Carla, and this is, you're dead naming me, then they're not going to be allowed to vote. So it's pretty interesting to read through that article.
I really like the analogy that voting is makes you transphobic, and it really fits in that I probably am the most anti-voting and most trans-supportive person on the show. So it's it really I vibe with that title there.
So are you saying I'm the most pro-voting and most anti trans on the show?
I didn't say that.
That's all right.
I mean, if the shoe fits, you can lace that bitch up.
Where's Clyde when we need him? Like, we need his opinion on this, because you were talking about the other day. You were talking about the as long as you don't call it that. I'm assuming you were meaning
that's a Clyde thing. Yeah, I was giving you shit for it just because Clyde wasn't around.
Is Clyde coming on today?
He said he was, but he said he had to go to the vet. So
I hope he's not one of the four people watching right now, because I realized after the show on Monday that I should have waited to wear those gay gloves you made fun of for when Clyde was on the show, so that he could be like, what are those? So I'm gonna put those gloves on.
He's got a pair of those.
I'm gonna see if he has a comment.
He's got a pair of those to match all of his fedoras or whatever his little.
He probably does.
Those are actually the type of gloves I have to wear, like if I'm like working on like my regular job, because I work with small wires. So if it's like really cold, I have to wear gloves. I have to wear fingerless gloves. So I'm still gonna give you shit about it, but
that's fine.
I wear it sometimes too.
I hated when I did like electrical work and stuff, doing maintenance type stuff on a former or previous job, and they had these. The company had glove requirements. Well, I can't wear these gloves that you require me to wear and actually do my job. So I never wear my gloves, and then the safety dicks would come around. They'd be like, "Why aren't you wearing your gloves?" I'm like, "Because it's a physical impossibility for me to do my job while wearing the gloves that you've issued us. Like, get us different gloves or take away the dumbass requirement. Then I'm not violating your rules." Like, Me and the safety guys fought a lot because most of the regulations and requirements that they had were completely fucking stupid. Like, have you ever done the?
Bullshit.
It's like, have you ever done the job? Well, no. I'm like, then shut the fuck up and go away. Like, how many barges have you loaded in your lifetime? Well, I've never actually been on a barge. I'm like, okay, then go away. Like, you don't get to tell me how to do my job.
I was part of a simulation one time, but I just stood there.
So we watched the training course. I'm like, yeah, the training course is also terrible. It was clearly the training course was put together by people who've never done it either, huh? The world of OSHA.
So I'm not going to say who, but somebody very close to me, as a young girl, with her family, used to go on all these amazing vacations.
Justin and I are like narrowing it down as you speak, but
yeah, it's maybe pretty obvious. I'm just not going to say it. But used to go on all these crazy like vacations, all these places with her grandmother. And we're talking about it one day, and I'm like how or whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, it was she worked for something, and so all the big construction companies like Caterpillar and shit would pay for these vacations we'd get to go on, you know. And I'm like, that's odd, and inquired a little bit further, and apparently this lady, I don't know if it was OSHA, but she's like, yeah, she was responsible for all the safety stuff that we have on job sites now. And I was like, oh, so those were bribes, and she was a lobbyist. Oh, it makes sense now. That's pretty cool. I mean, hey, fuck, I guess, you know, if you get to go on cool vacations, what the fuck, somebody's doing it.
She was the state inspector, and all of these big companies are like, hey, you know, we'll pay for this nice vacation, and you just ignore this and this and this. The trick whenever you had a inspection coming or something is you leave a few like really obvious minor things laying around here and there, because and then they'll write those up, and you get a little, you know, you get a little smack on the hand, and you get to move on with it. Because if everything is like perfect and pristine and they don't see anything, then they start looking, because they're not there to find nothing. Their job is to find something. So if they don't find something right away, they're going to stay until they find something. So that was always like, you leave a couple little minor things out here and there, so they see those and they can write you up for them, and they can get their little $200 fines, and they don't go looking for the big shit, because there is going to be big shit that you just don't have time or ability to fix, that you don't want them to go digging for.
So part of our yearly investigations or whatever at my old job working with kids involved a bunch of people of the state interviewing 9-year-old kids, asking them how the staff treat them. So you can imagine how that went, all the lying that went on there.
Yeah, or
they beat us and they swear at us all the time. They never feed us.
Or just I mean, it's like happiness polls. Like, they're stupid, you know, but happiness polls of like 9-year-olds is like insane, you know, because what the fuck do they know about anything?
We were allowed to pick which kids they got to interview, though, so we always chose the
either the ones you beat the most or the least.
The least. They're just like, hey, little Johnny,
when you get in there, you listen, you say this. Stick to the script, boy.
By the way, there's a whole stash of candy in the back of my office here. I don't know if you...
Oh, man. Do you guys have elections coming up in your state? I'm sorry, we just change the topic. We don't have to do that.
Well, that's probably more on par with what we talk about on this show.
Do you guys have elections? Because this is like not everybody has elections this go around, right? It's like governor stuff. Because we have elections, obviously. I wanted to share. I've been getting mailers
these
for as Niall introduced me the term Governor Hot Wife. See?
Yeah, she is effective.
But at first, I thought it was just a full page one. I was like, damn, he's really springing. And then I noticed it's a full.
He's sending out a
opening 2-page thing. There's my sheriff. My sheriff is in there behind DeSantis.
That's the guy. That's the one that you like in the world.
Well,
or don't mind.
The one that I have to exist with the most. And then I got this one too within a week. He's fucking pumping it up. Banning Zuckerberg's big tech moguls. Nice. Zuckerbucks. Oh, Zuckerbucks. There's a lot of good right-wing stuff in here. Like, you know.
You're not getting
Fox
any from the other side?
I haven't gotten any literature. I haven't gotten any text or nothing from the other side. I've gotten some text for like Trump and DeSantis stuff, you know, but no, nothing from the other side yet.
They know it's a lost cause. Like
yeah,
the,
They're like, he's
The
on this show. Like, if he's gonna go anyway, it's gonna be this.
the Florida Democrats were like, Nikki Freeze is our one hope to beat DeSantis, and then the retards of Florida voted for Charlie Crist. And as soon as he won the primary, the Democrats were just like, well, not this year, and moved on.
Yeah, I have to feel like that's the case. I see an ad for this bitch, Kathy Castor, and I don't know anything like really about her, like except like, you know, whatever typical Democrat platform, I'm sure. Except for but her commercials play so much that I just hate her, you know, like, and want her to lose.
You might show up with a booth just to
right.
not vote for her.
Oh man, I was trying to get a video of this commercial so we could play it on here, but we'll just talk about it instead. There's this other commercial they've been playing a bit, except when I have my camera ready. And it's like Hurricane Ian damage and this big, you know, graphic of all the damage and this and that. And it's Audi of Orange Park. And they're like, to help you out in this trying time, we're offering 3% off MSRP on any new Audi. We just see it and laugh like, hey, round up to 5, motherfuckers. But B, like, oh man, this trying time and your house has been destroyed. Don't worry, we'll get you hooked up on that new Audi.
3% off, baby.
Like, who is this for? Like, it's insane.
That was funny. We do have a governor election here in Michigan too.
You guys are. What's the general temperature? Are you worried about, or not worried about getting a new governor? Are you excited about possibly getting a new governor?
I mean, I hope so, but according to the polls, which obviously the polls aren't to ever be believed, Whitmer is supposed to win. But Tudor Dixon's showing up on Tucker Carlson, so you know she's making that last push. But like Corey says, the ads in Michigan are funny. They're funny because all of the anti-Tudor Dixon ads are better than her pro ads. Like, Tudor Dixon is against abortion. It's like, yes, I know. That's why I like her.
She's dangerous. She wants women to go back in the kitchen.
As they should be.
So Michigan's like one of those weird states where it's like blue, but like it's a different kind of blue. And I know we talked about this because you have like the union people, but like everybody I know who's like from Michigan, who's like Democrat, they're like, you hang out with them and it's like you assume that they're conservative, like, you know, in every way except unions.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it makes sense that Michigan would vote for Obama for 2 elections, and then it's basically because they don't like Romney and McCain. And then vote for Trump for 2 elections after that. Although the official stats only show that they voted for him, or that we voted for him in 2016, but he also won in 2020.
So is there a strategy there then to just like have like basically 2, I guess it'd be a primary battle at that point, but a more, you know, just more conservative Democrat, you know, or something, like still running like, I don't know.
For like the governor or just like any?
For like the governor, like somebody like somebody Michigan specific, you know what I mean? So it sounds like the opposition, let's say the Republican, is also a woman, so they're trying for that, I guess. But I guess wouldn't it make sense to really try in the Democratic side?
I mean, that might make sense too. It seems like Dixon's strategy has been to basically present herself as the female DeSantis, which is fine with me. Like, I'll go with that. So yeah, it's kind of like it's the peninsula of the North.
Is there any chance of a Republican governor being elected in Michigan though?
Yeah, I think.
What's the separation?
Even though,
now? Like, what are the polls showing?
It shows like a 7-point lead for Whitmer, but I would assume it's probably pretty neck and neck, as Steven says here.
I say that's a push then.
And like, people hate Whitmer. Like, obviously,
generally speaking, if the polls say anywhere from 5 to 8 points, that means it's a push or the Republicans are leading. The polls generally skew anywhere from 5 to 8 points to the left. So
there's a lot of infrastructure here that they didn't fix or they didn't fix like they did in Arizona though, where it's kind of prime for some good old cheating.
You know,
we saw
whenever
that
the
in 2020.
yeah, whenever the line goes just straight up, there's a problem.
Yeah, I think Trump was up by
A
like
lot.
16, 12 to 16 election night, and then I wake up, so they stop the counting. They stop the count at midnight or whatever, and then they restart recounting in the middle of the night, and I wake up and Trump's down by 5. Well, that doesn't seem statistically
Mark's getting
possible.
this Mark's getting this second down.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised when he didn't win. You know.
Oh, I saw a stat that it was a post on Twitter from Jen Psaki, our favorite former press secretary, and it was incredulous.
I genuinely miss her.
I know. Hopefully, she'll do an
was a lot better
OnlyFans now that she's not on the White House anymore.
Oh man, OnlyFans, but it's just her arguing with what's his face from
Ducey
Fox
or
News.
whatever.
Ducey, yeah. Yeah, her and Peter Ducey should just start a podcast, like where it's just them arguing for an hour. I would listen to every episode of that forever.
I'd probably listen to the first one, and then
I wouldn't mind if you could probably do like the last
Oh shit! What's up, Clyde?
6 years of press secretaries. Just do like a group OnlyFans. I mean, wouldn't be bad.
Except for Sarah Huckabee. No, thank you.
But you got to cater to everybody. I mean, I think that hits every crowd at that point.
It sounds like she's going to be the governor of Arkansas. Speaking of elections,
is that this election cycle?
Yeah. So anyway, Psaki, she had posted a thing that said, since we're talking about election deniers and whatnot, she had posted a thing that said that a third, based on this CNN and New York Times poll, a third of independent voters and a small but significant minority of Democratic voters have said that they would vote for someone who believes that the 2020 election was invalid. Okay. So people are starting to buy into the.
Well, they have so many things they have to believe with like Ukraine and Russia and January 6th and 2020 stolen election. One of these we're going to have to give up on. So they chose the election because they like what happened. A lot of them.
Yeah, we had to hear about it for 4 years after Trump got elected in 2016 from the other side.
It's not a new concept. Like Hillary really introduced it into the popular culture in 2016, I think. So it's not like
Gore in 2000 selected.
Yeah.
Stacey in 2018. Did you see her defending that on defending her election denial on the debate the other night? She's like, well, actually, I said that he won. It's like, okay, when?
When did she say that?
She says she did.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that debate?
No, I don't need to.
You already know you're voting for Shane Hazel.
I'm right in my left testicle.
I was gonna write in my right testicle. Oh my god, dude! It's like we're right there.
It just
I hate to admit to this, but I watched the clip from the old Georgia debate. I haven't watched anything from Michigan governor debate, but I watched a clip from the Georgia governor debate. And
what does it look like, Mark? Sure.
They all look like retards. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Stacey Abrams kind of made Mr. Hazel look like an idiot on the whole China
was he up there?
Property thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I might go watch now. Well, it's just like she's so full of shit. Like, I don't know. There was some tweet she put out about how like we can protect the Second Amendment and we can protect second graders at the same time. And it's just like, man, you're so full of crap. Like,
it seems like she had like kind of a conservative pitch.
She's trying because she knows that's what she's got to do. But like, she still is like all for red flag laws, all for bringing back the assault weapons ban or whatever the hell it was, you know. Just, you know.
She came across. I watched about 20, 25 minutes of it. She came across as a completely phony and moronic bimbo. Shane was kind of spurgy and what you would expect from a libertarian, and Kemp just seemed really flaccid and weak. So yeah, the whole thing, like, y'all are fucked no matter who wins.
It's just it's a matter of, you know, will they use lube and how much, you know. I prefer the guy that's
there was a point where Shane said that that's why we're gonna send this to a runoff. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, that's not a good thing. Like, that's.
Like,
and who's this?
Guillotine. Sorry,
who's this Chase Oliver guy that's running for Senate that's gonna end up resulting in Warnock winning again? Like, is Herschel Walker any good? I don't know, but at least he knows how to put a woman in her place. Don't send this to a runoff.
Allegedly.
Apparently Warnock beat his ex-wife. So
Warnock's a pastor, right? Like, yeah. I mean, look, if you're a pastor and these things are like, they both have equal transgressions against women. One's a pastor, one's a football player. Like, you got to balance the character. At least one is like embracing it, the other one's trying to hide it, right? Like, you can't hide your abusive nature behind the gospel. Like, what kind of person does that make you? At least the other guy's being open and honest about his, you know.
Well, and to be fair, Herschel Walker even wrote a book about it, because it's something he had like multiple personality disorder or some sort of schizophrenia. So like he fully embraced it and talked about what was happening and what was going on with his, like, I don't know, is it a CTE thing or who knows?
Probably. Is there anything
he
that
ran everybody else over, but still hard collisions.
You like, are there diseases or disabilities that preclude you from running for office? Like, if you're schizophrenic, like, are you allowed to run for office? Is it just left in the hands of the people to not vote for a retard? Like,
like a 25th Amendment, yeah, I guess. After the fact.
You ever watch our president speak?
Yes.
Or Kamala, or the vice president.
Nancy Pelosi. I mean, you know, for as much as we hate Mitch McConnell, at least he can put together coherent sentences. They're horrible. They're fucking horrible. But at least he can, string together words. Right?
Man, that's a great point. How is Mitch McConnell like one of the most coherent? Like, he used to be like the old dude who was like, you know, like, now he's like the most like coherent of all those fuckers.
Right, 20 years ago, he was the old dude in Congress, and now, 20 years later, he's the only one that can still string together a full, coherent sentence. What the fuck is going on?
It's like the mental retardation thing, like this. It's like
the good old days of politics when we just got to make fun of Mitch McConnell for looking like a turtle.
Yeah.
Things got way too serious.
You guys must be getting your cold front down there in the south.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 50s this morning, dude.
There was frost on the ground. There was like frost on the ground. I had to turn the defroster on for my wife when she was going to work to defrost the car, because, I mean, like, there was seriously like frost on the windows.
You thought you were back in Vermont.
Yeah, it was weird. It's weird, man. It's mid-October.
It's funny, Dad goes, yeah, it was 50 in the 50s this morning. And like, it was in the 50s in our house this morning. I don't run the heat. My wife was like, you got to do something about the furnace. It was 57 when I woke up this morning. I was like, yeah, it's kind of perfect, wasn't it? I think that's, throw on a light jacket and some house shoes and go make my coffee.
That's what I set the thermostat to, baby.
This is the first one I'll pull up. 36 in South Carolina, Corey says.
Yeah. It's
Miss McCrae had to put on 3 layers of clothing to get her coffee.
Does she have to go outside for coffee?
That's
or is it just that cold in the house?
She went to Come and Go.
Do they sell coffee? We never nailed down what Come and Go does.
Told us. She probably owns them. She didn't want to give us too much information.
That's right. Don't want to spoil it. You just need to go find out for yourself.
Clyde doesn't know. Do you have a come and go in Georgia?
I thought that was like a euphemism, and you guys were making
There's a
sex
come and
jokes
go
to our
that's
only
going
like
up
female
near my
listener, and I
house.
was surprised, but we do not. No.
When we had the tiny house, we had an outhouse, and winter was always a little tough. What I ended up doing was getting a little $20 space heater from Amazon and put it in the outhouse and ran the cord out with a timer, so it would come on.
My space heater.
Like 15 minutes before I typically would go out and do my morning business, and that was a lifesaver, definite game changer. Because on mornings when it was like in the 30s,
yeah, nobody likes
get a little
frost on
shy.
ours. Yeah,
Steven says
Yeah.
it better be nice in Florida when he's there in a couple of weeks.
It'll probably be nice compared to what you're used to, one way or another. So, but yeah, that's gonna be cool. Yeah, Steven said he's coming down. It's gonna be I don't know. For some people, it'd probably be far away, but for me, an hour is pretty close. So
that is something like that. I don't know. Like growing up in New England, like 45 minutes was like a long drive. Like it seemed like a lot. Down, I get here to Georgia and like an hour's nothing. 2 hours is like a long drive. Hour and a half, that's nothing. Like it's kind of weird. Like
We have to come up with a joke about what the come and go sister store is.
shit, if you can get come and go and her sister store at the same time, you're really doing it right.
Well, it's like people will talk about what a long drive it is to go somewhere. And like, oh man, it's like 2 hours. Like I used to, when I was regional project manager, the closest facility to me was 2 hours. Like I had a minimum 2 hour drive every single day, no matter where I went. Like that was just my daily commute was 2 hours. It wasn't like 2 hours isn't nothing.
That's not okay. When was this? Was this in the time of podcast, or was this before podcast?
No, this was before podcast, back in 15, 16.
15, 16. That's a long time ago.
Mark, what are you wearing?
Yes, I knew it.
What, like,
they're my gloves, Clyde. See, I wore these on Monday, and Dag made fun of me for them, even though he wears them himself. He admitted to it. Although I don't know if I was supposed to tell you that he wears them. And so today, on today's show, before you got here, I was like, I should have wore those gloves on Monday, so that Clyde would be like, "What are those?" So I put them back on just for that moment there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate seeing your.
You don't own a pair of
I don't. Fingerless gloves? No, I do not. Like it's like having socks that are toeless. Like what's the point?
That's
terrifying,
like,
I don't get it.
Art hates homeless people,
like,
yet can't stop looking like one.
Number one, the stupid gloves that are supposed to work for your phone, those never work. So obviously the fingerless ones do work. And also,
yeah, but what so what? You're still getting frostbite on the tips of your fingers.
It's not for the winter. It's for I have bad circulation in my hands.
You got that Raynaud's.
So, yeah. And I don't need my entire hand covered to get that circulation back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I was just thinking cross the straws. But those have a purpose. I mean, that's like assless chaps. Those are,
Do they really? But no, they have a purpose, as in to avoid an issue. But do they serve the purpose of underwear though? That's my question.
What?
They
really
solve the problem of the
anyway?
inconvenience of underwear. Is that the purpose of crotchless underwear? I don't know.
Oh,
I always thought it was easy access.
Yeah, but then what's the purpose of wearing underwear? Just don't wear underwear at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Apparently, we finally found
it
the
prevents
subject that
skid marks
Justin is
and stuff.
uncomfortable with.
He accidentally found his mom's crotchless underwear when he was a kid, so it's a tough subject for him.
Yeah. Dramatic.
It's also why he doesn't do laundry. That's the wife's job. I'm too afraid of what I'm going to find.
Did your wife do that piece of art over your shoulder there, Dag?
I think so.
It's cool.
Most of the art in the house.
That's cool.
Yeah, and most of the art in the house she's done. Thanks. Maybe she'll sell it.
It makes me. We talked about Narnia and Middle Earth the other day, and it seems like something that might be in one of those worlds.
She's into all that stuff, so it's definitely possible.
Was that like? Never mind.
No, say it. Say it.
No, was that another conversation? Did I have that conversation?
You said you ordered the books a few weeks ago for your kids.
I didn't know.
We talked about it.
I wasn't sure how far you had. Were going back in time.
But then we also talked. I don't remember why it got brought up on Monday. Who knows why anything gets brought up on this show?
I should start listening. It's hard. It's hard to pull things up on YouTube. I don't dig it. I don't know. What did you guys talk about already?
Well, they talked about how to find the show because Corey apparently has to look up the Vasectomy Clubhouse still.
So do I.
How we need to get 100 subscribers. We got to find a scam to do it. Do you buy or sell things on Facebook Marketplace or any of those apps, Clyde?
No, I've looked. I've been looking for a tractor, but a third of the ones that I contact are like scams. Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. I'm trying to sell a dryer, and 2/3 of the hits I've got have been scams. We were talking about that a little bit. Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I haven't bought or sold anything on there in forever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got this,
hopefully, I have a real person coming to pick it
off
up.
of Facebook Marketplace.
What's that?
I got this Fitbit off of Facebook Marketplace, and it's worked for the last 5 months that I've had it.
Oh, cool.
I just figured you stole it off the homeless person that stole the gloves.
Have you seen American
gloves?
Psycho?
And taking their gloves, you might as well take their watch.
Yeah, I got a very legitimate looking email from Zelle saying that I needed to send $200 for some reason, right? And that'd be sent back to me. And I'm like, well, I know that's not true. And then, I check like the email address it came from, and it's like Zelle customer service @gmail.com. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. That's I'm pretty sure they can spring for a @Zelle.com domain. It was really Zelle. Besides the fact, of course, I was
tractor, Clyde.
Like 40, 50 horse, couple hundred hours, not too many hours. Something I can pick up hay bales with. Get a lift on the front too. A little bucket on the front.
I'll see what I can find for you.
Who needs Facebook Marketplace?
What I got now
the morning
is like
after. Anybody want to buy a dryer? Steven, you need a dryer when you come down?
What about Craigslist? You can't hawk that on Craigslist?
Dryer for coffee.
Probably. I felt like the Facebook Marketplace is the thing now. And it was way easier to just do it on my phone while I'm sitting on the couch, hitting the bong,
Yeah.
Also, a few things.
I don't know. I've never really. I don't know. I've looked occasionally. I was looking for a truck at one point in time. And it just wasn't. I don't know. It didn't seem like a lot. Part of it's probably like my location too. There's a whole lot around here, and all that like farmy type equipment gets sucked up by everybody else. So I don't know.
I'm trying to be better about, like, I've got shit sitting around that I've been meaning to, like, put on there and sell for, like, years. Like, I've got a topper that's been sitting there for 2 years for a truck.
You usually got to get those children up pretty quick. They tend to lose value as they get older.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I like to free-range them for a little while first, so. But I'm finally like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, I'm going to have to learn how to do it, and there's going to be scams. I've never used the Facebook one because typically I'm selling live chickens, and they don't let you sell animals. So that is what I use Craigslist for, is to sell chickens.
You got to be careful with how you go about doing your egg listing. Like if you're selling eggs on Facebook Marketplace, like I tried to sell eggs and I listed it as eggs, and they said, we don't allow you to sell animals. I'm like, it's not animals, it's fucking eggs. So then I don't
think they allow you to sell food either.
I had a basket of eggs for the picture, and I also had a potted plant behind it. So I said, plant for sale, but don't buy the plant, buy what's in front of it. And I got away with that.
Did you get anybody interested in the plant and not the eggs?
No.
No Nigerian princess trying to buy your plant for like $2 million. It's a beautiful plant.
No.
I tried selling breakfast machines
I've had
instead of hens, but that one didn't get through.
I've had a lot of luck with Facebook Marketplace. Like everything that I've listed on there is sold pretty quick, and I've gotten at least asking price, if not above, on everything that I've sold on there. So, and like real
Above? You
people,
get like a bidding war?
yeah, I've had a couple people that.
Okay.
I had one guy that showed up to. I was selling an old lawnmower, and guy showed up. He's like, "I'll give you this for it." I was like, "I've got somebody else that's offering me like." Offering to pay like what I'm asking. He said, "Well, I'll give you $10 more." I'm like, "Okay, then take it. Like it's yours right now."
Wait, let me make a call real quick.
Yeah.
Hold
Hold on, let me get a phone bid.
And I get all these old dudes that they just like pull out a wad of cash and just like hand me a bunch of 20s. It's like, okay, cool.
Nice.
Hey, this is the way I want. This is the way I want this transaction to go.
You know, you both have a pistol on your waist, both dealing in cash. I like it.
I wonder what it's like to witness Clyde haggling. He just goes, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Fine, $10 off. I don't know."
Just walk away.
I hate haggling. That's why I don't like selling shit on stuff like this.
Haggling. It's never like car lots and stuff. I just hate it.
The price is the price. If you don't like it, you can fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
But at the same time, I want this fucking dryer gone. So somebody said, "I'll give you $50." Give me the $50. Get it out of here.
I haggled the price of a car down one time, and I was signing all the papers away, and like halfway through signing the papers, I go, "I don't know, I'm having second thoughts." And the guy's like, "You're like almost there," and I was like, he's like, "And you like brought me down to the price that you wanted and everything." I was like, "I know, but I have a bad feeling about this." And he's like trying to talk me out of like walking out. I was like, "So you can you're telling me right now that I can't just like stand up and walk out?" And he's like, "No, you totally can." So I stood up and shook his hand. I was like, "I'm out of here." And then I walked home because I was dropped off there.
That's commitment, man.
Oh man, that's wow.
Yeah, up, come down, and everything, huh?
If he was a good salesman, he'd have followed your ass in the car and let you drive, like picked you up and let you drive it the rest of the way home, and then brought it back. That way, see if you like somewhere along the ride, you change your mind. Like, all right, maybe I do like this. Let's go back. I'll finish signing the paperwork.
I think he was
just if you had a car, you'd be home by now.
You know what? I'm out of here.
I would just pull up beside you and like roll the window down and be like, "Sure you want to walk? You sure you want to walk?"
But the stupid thing is, like, I had my phone and I could have called somebody, but my freaking phone died in the middle of the whole thing. So it's like, shoot, I'm walking home.
You got up to leave and take your phone out and make a call and realized, shit, I'm stuck.
So what was it that made you uncomfortable about buying the car, or made you actually change your mind at that point?
Had a rainbow flag bumper sticker on it.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Who knows what's living in that seat?
It was going to be like my first car that I ever had like a loan on, and I am like just anti like car loans and always have been. And like as I was like signing those papers, like the lump in my chest kept getting bigger and bigger. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're a better man than me, dude. I get the other thing. I get like excited where I'm like, wow, I'm about to get a car that I really shouldn't afford. You know? I'll be like, I get so like emotionally like excited about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd have a hard time. I'm a lot of respect for giving you the ability to do that, especially with all the other inconveniences that entailed that that afternoon.
It wasn't a short walk home either.
Yeah, but you jog for fun, so like, fuck.
Yeah.
I go into buying a vehicle with a very strict budget. Like, this is what I can afford, and this is what I'm looking for. And if I don't find what I can afford and what I'm looking for, then I just continue to drive my piece of shit for a while. Like when I found this truck, it was like, this is the truck that I wanted. It fits everything that I want and need from a truck. It was exactly the price range that I was looking for. The guy at the dealership, he was like, well, we've got this other one over here that I'm like, no, I don't want that. Fuck you. Like, this is the truck that I want. Don't try to upsell me. Don't try to give me something else. Like, this is exactly what I want. Like, I know what I want, and that's what I'm leaving with. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
I don't know. I always buy like junkers, you know, and like when I get a new car, it's like because the old car is no longer functioning. So the whole budget thing kind of goes out the window sometimes. So I'm like, you know,
You're just like buying
this
a
is what I
junker
really
every
want to
3 months.
spend, but like nothing. There's nothing that moves for that amount of money right now. So what else can I do?
That's the thing. If you drive, like Guillotine saying, if you drive shit boxes, then you kind of have to have a fleet of them. You know, you need at least 2 because one of them's always, you know, being worked on or something. It's funny. Like I'm not a car guy in the traditional sense, but like I'm a car guy. I guess like in the professional sense, like I've always worked on like or around cars. You know, so like when I bought my like Subaru long time ago, like I knew the car I want. I want this Subaru WRX, this one. You know, like this, but this shit. And I go to the dealership and they had a used one, and he's like, "Oh, well, it's at the other lot. We can get it here, but why don't I put you in this Jetta? Take it for a test drive, you know?" And I valeted at the time. I'm like, "Dude, I parked 4 of these this morning. Like, I'm not gonna test drive this. Like, I know what I want. You know, I am very particular. Like, I know when I got my Kia, like I knew I wanted it. I had measurements of the inside dimensions. Like, I wanted that car for a reason. You know, they're not gonna put me in a car that I didn't come there to get." You know, but I
don't think I've ever really been to a dealership.
It's been rare. I've bought my Kia and my Subaru. Otherwise, they've been used older cars that were my Camry. I just got for like $1,000, and it was like a '96 Camry with 100,000 miles. And I was like, yes, I want that.
Today,
you know,
like in today's world, you found that?
6-7 years ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. The guy I got it from, he's a Ferrari mechanic, so it had like the fucking like the $80 oil, in it and everything. So it was pretty well taken care of. And I just something about having an old Toyota like that. It was just that just got my old man nerves going. So
finally got the blood pumping down below the belt, huh?
One of the I forget one of the final sales pitches the guy made to me, that story I just told earlier, is he goes, I was like 20, 25 at the time, and he goes, if you had been my son, I would have been really proud of you. So you're really trying, this is what you're trying with me right now?
So he still thought you were just trying to like...
My actual dad might actually be proud of me what I'm doing, like walking out, as opposed to what you're saying you would have been proud of me for. So I'm going.
So when we got my truck, Stephanie wasn't really looking for a vehicle, but her car at the time didn't get the gas mileage we were hoping for out of it, and with getting this is big enough to haul all the kids and everything, so we didn't have to use hers as the primary family vehicle. So she was looking for something a little bit. She decided to look and see if there was anything like in her price range that was a little smaller and more fuel efficient for just driving back and forth to work. And there was literally a 2016 Buick Encore sitting right next to this truck in the lot. And so she got to looking at that while I was looking at this. And the guy was explaining it to her and talking to her about it. And so I knew for sure I was getting this. She thought she might get that. He was going to put together all the pricing and everything on it. And when we came back, so we went to eat supper and came back, and he said, all right, so he got everything done for me because I wasn't fucking around. But for hers, he put up together the pricing for the 16 Encore, and he was like, look, if with all the rebates and stuff, they're running on a brand new one. He said, we've got a brand new one sitting on the lot that's got 4 miles on it. He said, and with all the rebates and stuff, your payments are actually less on that than if you buy the 2016 one. And we looked at everything and it made sense. It's like, yeah, that's a really good deal. So she ended up getting that, and she's been really happy with it. Like that's the only way you're gonna like upsell me on a vehicle is like if he had come back and said, hey, look, we've got this brand new one that's gonna be cheaper and than what you're gonna pay for that one, then I might have considered it. But that's the only way you're gonna get me on an upsell list.
2-for-1 deals there.
How did we get on this subject? Oh, this was Dag's fault.
I don't know.
Selling stuff on Marketplace.
My phone overheated, and when I came back, this is what y'all were talking about.
We had Mark's good story about his excellent negotiation tactics.
I'm out of here.
Fuck this. Morning, Magoo.
Magoo is here at 9:26.
Yeah, that
He
works,
made it.
yeah.
He's getting later and later. It's not even this dude.
That's-
I made a deal with Magoo. Magoo and I made a deal in our league. I don't know if you guys
I
saw
saw that. I saw that.
Wait, what kind of a deal? He sent me an offer, and I haven't decided whether I want to take it or not.
See, we went fast. Like, he sent me an offer, and I was like, I want your kicker. And so I sent him a counter, and it was accepted. And
Which kicker was this now?
Harrison Bucker.
I had him, and then I dropped him because he
He's
went
one
out.
of the best kickers in the league. He's
Why
one
would
of the
you
few that
drop
you
him?
don't drop.
What? Because he was out for
Oh,
like
he
2
was
weeks.
injured. He was injured. Yeah.
And I, because it's a kicker.
I was say I'm surprised Stephanie didn't have him in her stable of kickers.
Because she drafted, quote, what, backwards? I'm doing this from down to up, or what was that what she called it?
Yeah, I don't know how she put together.
It's like,
I fill out my bench first, and then I get the starters.
My kicker's doing great.
Is he your best player?
He's doing pretty good. He's the most predictably good.
Double
Better than-
digits every week.
Better than the receivers and running backs and quarterback, which is not usually a good sign. But
Yeah, when your defense and your kicker are your most reliable players, you're struggling.
Go suck up. Sock Hop? I don't know how to say his name.
Suck up, yeah.
Suck up, yeah. What a name to be stuck with. And
Right.
I've got a terrible last name.
there is a kicker named Gay, so
yeah, it wasn't. No,
I
that
think I
wasn't
might
the
have
actual
him.
gay guy. That wasn't.
I don't think so.
Was it?
To be a center by the name of Gay, that'd be good.
That would be entertaining.
I feel like you'd have to. If you were a center and your last name was Gay, you'd have to be gay.
Like,
I think,
all right,
you
Gay.
Just, you just give
You
into
would
it.
Put my
and you're like,
hands underneath your
just gonna
crotch
roll with
now.
No funny business. Oh, shit.
Wasn't
Is there any other way we could do this?
the quarterback's just like everything's shotgun. I don't care. Everything's shotgun.
We run the spread offense, and then Gay goes, "Ooh, the spread." But no, nothing like that, man.
It's ruining football.
Wasn't the only gay player in the NFL like a linebacker or something? I know he played defense.
Yeah, I remember it's a big deal when he came out. Or was this in basketball?
Is he still in the league?
Oh no. Yeah.
I feel like it was a
no,
while ago.
He's not in the league. I think he played for the when St. Louis had the Rams.
Oh yeah. He was.
I forgot that the
So
Rams
it's
used to
been
be
a while.
there.
No, the basketball guy was it was a center, and he had a twin
Yeah, he
brother,
was.
and his twin brother didn't even know that he was gay. But they had already retired before he came out.
Michael Sims.
There you go.
That was a football player.
Of course, Magoo
One of
knows.
the Magoo from Mizzou. Suck Up played for the Cox, which means he played for South Carolina. I bet there are lots of jokes there.
Yes.
Oh,
Corey,
Lord.
where's Corey? Corey has all the cock jokes.
Yeah, I what is it? I thought like missing the first half hour of the show, I might miss something and miss some, and like no, I missed nothing.
You should have tuned in.
I couldn't, man. I don't have internet when I'm on the road.
Oh.
I have
Sorry.
to bring the hotspot with me, and the kids were using it. So
Seems like a lot of gear.
yeah, just not.
What happened
not
at the
worth
vet? Are your animals okay?
it. Yeah, it's the dog that got beat up the other day. She's got a pretty big wound on her like forearm, and so I'd been giving her like penicillin, and the doctor gave her some amoxicillin, and it ran out on like Sunday. So she was limping a little bit yesterday, and her paw started to swell up, and the wound is still like open. So I think we just got to get more antibiotics, but I think she's okay. Everybody else is pushing to take her, and I can't be the one that says she'll be fine and then have something happen, because then I'll be like enemy number one for the next decade.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Man, I do that with my kids all the time. Like I'm like, they're fine. There's no reason to take them to the hospital. And then like 2 days later, they're on their deathbed. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Couldn't you just get over this like a normal human being? Like, why'd you have to go and make me be wrong?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It'll be all right. Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Why is it time? The
We
longer
got
we
something
go, the
to
more
get to?
people start watching.
No,
Yeah,
it's
why
like-
does this
like-
happen?
Well, no, so Alex Jones got like in trouble for slandering Sandy Hook people, and then Yeezy got hit with a big old suit, I think from Floyd's family for saying that Floyd died from a
really?
fentanyl OD. It was
Which is
interesting
technically correct, right?
I don't know.
The coroner report said that he died from a fentanyl overdose. If you watch the new Candace Owens, the biggest lie ever sold or whatever, like you can visibly see from certain camera angles that there is there is space between Chauvin's knee and Floyd's neck. Like he wasn't kneeling on him the whole time. So, I don't know. It's gonna be. I think
It was probably a combined thing,
but it'll be another show
A
trial.
little too much knee on the neck. But like, I mean, it's. Were there suits like this before that like just didn't catch attention? Where it's like, I don't want to say conspiracy talk, but like it kind of is like suing people for going against.
No, they talked about it at the beginning of the Alex Jones trial. They needed to do this to completely remove all of his wealth, all of his influence, everything about him, and to wipe him from the face of the earth, because they can't have people who promote anything that does not go with the approved narrative. Like they almost said that verbatim at the beginning of Alex Jones's trial. Like that's what the point of all this is if you don't agree with what we say, then fuck you. We're going to make sure that you are never allowed to speak in public ever again.
Yeah.
The thing is, his monetary wealth obviously takes a hit, but I think his influence actually expands as a result of this whole show trial thing.
Is it done? He can appeal, right? They can get
if
kicked
his
up, right? Because that judge was like Looney Tunes, if I recall.
Yeah, if his lawyers are worth their salt at all, they'll appeal and they'll win easily, because the judge pretty well fucked herself, and if it goes to appeal.
Oh, I feel like there was other good articles in there, man.
Well, you brought up Yeezy. There are like videos of like the Turning Point people and Dave Rubin going, Yeezy is expressing his free speech, blah blah blah, supporting him, and then he starts talking about the Jews, and they're like, "Yay, he's crazy. He's bananas. He's obviously got some issues."
What did Trump say that was anti-Semitic? Because I know
Nothing. Trump was very supportive of Israel.
Well, I think it was like recently he said something.
There was not a tweet, obviously, but one of maybe it was a Truth Social, about how he said the Jews in Israel are real good. They're so good he could probably be prime minister of Israel, but the Jews in the States are terrible, and they better get their act together, or else we're gonna start rounding them suckers up.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, he's a character, man. He's a character. It is
Entertaining.
classy stuff. All right.
Oh, there's the R word.
Probably time to let Justin get down with his goats. I hear him beckoning him.
Watch out, Mark. If you go sharing your car haggling techniques too much, they might round you up too. That's true. I guess in fairness, you would have had to actually bought the car in order for. Let's just do it for fun, it's practice.
They're upset with me because I don't take out their loans.
Yeah, right.
What kind of retard has a ceiling fan on when it's like 50 degrees outside?
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.